Thanks to Insta360 for sponsoring today's video. So this is the new Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and it might be the best action cam out right now. But let's do a quick unboxing. So check it out. In the box, the first thing you'll see is the Ace Pro 2. I never used the original Ace Pro, but I gotta say, this thing is an absolute unit. Underneath, you get an extra battery, which is awesome, some paperwork and stickers, and a really thick USB-C to C cable. But you also get the mic cover for underwater activities and a mounting adapter. And I gotta say, the mounting mechanism at the bottom of this camera is super convenient and opens the door to a lot of accessories.
It's supposed to be durable.
The Ace Pro 2 does have the typical action camera design, but with some really standout features, like a removable lens guard that's housed around the lens, with a small screen to the left to let you know what settings you're currently shooting with, a mic at the bottom, with a removable wind guard so you can get clearer audio if you're shooting in windy environments. In the back, you've got a 2.5-inch flip-out touchscreen, which is great if you're shooting vlog-style content or you just want the ability to see your framing. I'm telling you, that's really convenient. On the sides, you have your covers for your battery hatch and another for the micro SD cards and USB-C port. You also have your power button on the side and your recording button up top. This is probably one of the most well-thought-out designs I've seen for an action camera, and it honestly just looks dope.
And I appreciate products like this because it gets me out of my comfort zone, which is indoors. I don't know, Jay. I don't even think we need a selfie stick. Why? Like, this thing is wide enough. It's like I could probably hold it in my hand and get the shot. Yeah, I'm good. Now, what's really sick about this is like this is a complete package. So you've obviously got your camera in here. It's super stable, so you don't need like an arm or gimbal. And you also have your mic built in with a wind guard. This is going to help decrease that wind noise. Not to mention being able to clearly see yourself. For an action camera, this thing is like pretty versatile. Look at that, that works. So check this out, you guys. Like, this is completely handheld. You see Jay over there? The footage is super stable. And even though we've got like a really wide lens, I can just double tap and have it go into a 2x zoom. That's not bad though. If the wide look isn't really your thing, this is a good alternative. And this is an action cam, right? So we get a ton of stabilization here. There's like different levels of stabilization depending on what you're doing. And with this kind of stabilization, even if I'm walking on like, you know, bumpy terrain or anything like that, my footage is still gonna be really smooth. Unlike Jay, who needs that fancy gimbal over there, you guys can probably see my footage is just as smooth as his, and I'm using my hands. And because this thing has a wide angle lens, you can kind of switch up just how wide your shot is. Obviously, if you're using it as an action cam, you'll want that ultra. I've got it on dewarp so that I can get like, you know, regular everyday footage, and I don't want it to be warped on the sides. I don't want it to have that weird look, but there are a lot of options. But I think one of the craziest ones has to be like horizon lock. So there's a 45-degree horizon lock. So even if I tilt it like this, the footage should be pretty stable and you'd have no idea that I was doing this the entire time. But then there's this like insane version where you get 360. So I can completely turn this thing around. And in my footage, you would have no idea that the camera spun around just now. That's insane.
I can't see it, but that sounds crazy.
I mean, that's not a bad feature. If you're pretty bad at keeping your camera straight, like, yeah, whatever, like, you're just talking to the camera, you're not really paying attention. Maybe you're really animated and you're just doing your thing. It's gonna be straight no matter what.
Now, if you're familiar with the Ace Pro and you wanna know what's different, I got you. So first is the upgraded sensor. This thing can shoot in 8K, which gives you a ton of room to work with. We'll also get to shoot 4K in 60 frames per second in active HDR, which basically means you can get some nice slowed down footage with more lighting detail in your shots. Now you're also getting a wider field of view here with a 157-degree wide angle lens compared to 151 degrees from the last model. Now that screen in the back is also upgraded from a 2.4-inch display to a 2.5-inch with increased sharpness, higher brightness, so you can see the screen a bit better, and overall the images and everything you see will look a lot sharper. Now we're also looking at a bigger battery. This one has 1,800 milliamp hours. Like I said, you get 2 of them. But what's really cool is that this thing does have fast charging. So with the fast charging, you can get the camera up to 80% in just 18 minutes and if you want to go fully charged, about 47 minutes. Alongside a new sensor, the Ace Pro 2 is actually going to be the first action cam with a dedicated image processing chip. So we're looking at a dual AI chip, which basically means the Ace Pro 2 has 100% higher computing power than the original Ace Pro. So basically with more processing power, you're getting better image quality, especially in areas like noise reduction. I got some nighttime footage with this thing using the pure sight video mode, and you can see it for yourself. Footage that would typically be pretty grainy because of how dark it is, looks really clean from here. That gives you a lot of versatility since you get all kinds of shooting mode options during the day with clean footage at night as well.
All right, so right now we've got some serious wind, and we'll see how well that wind guard does to protect your audio quality. All right, yeah, and I don't know. These are some pretty strong gusts. I would stop talking normally to avoid this, but we'll see how it does here. Now, let's say you're shooting solo, you've got your tripod set up. There's some cool things you can do with this using gestures if you're a one-man crew. All right, maybe you want to take a photo. This does take 50 megapixel photos. All you gotta do is hit the peace sign. It'll start the timer. Bam. If you wanna start shooting video, just get your palm up, and then it starts shooting. So super simple. You know, you shoot your vlog, your TikTok dances, whatever it may be. Nah, I don't got no moves. And then whenever you wanna stop rolling, just put your palm back up. Boom. And you can take it a step further and use voice controls. So if I want to just say, start recording, boom, we're recording, we're rolling. I can say, stop recording. Bam. As long as you don't ever need to say, stop recording in a video without actually stopping, you'll be fine.
Then all those gestures, just human language.
Just say it, right?
Yeah.
And I think those are cool features if you're a creator, like I said, who's just a one-man team. You want to compose your shot, set up your shot to be just right, and then you just give it a gesture or a voice control, and boom, you got your shot.
Now, Insta360 worked closely with Leica for its image processing, and you get access to these exclusive Leica color profiles with this camera, so you can completely change up the look of the aesthetic of your footage depending on what kind of content you're shooting. If you're really serious about colors, you can also shoot in iLog, which is basically really flat footage that you can edit to your liking. I feel like we're seeing that with every camera these days, so it's good to see it here as well, if you want to grade like a pro. Now, as I mentioned before, you can take this underwater. It is waterproof up to 39 feet or about 12 meters right out of the box.
Yeah. And of course, there's a companion app where you can import footage, use it as a wireless viewfinder, but there's also AI editing. So with the AI editing, if you're not really good at that, you can basically let it do it for you. And it has all kinds of cool effects, but this is basically like your footage's playground if you want to turn it into something you've never seen before. So there's just a lot you can do with this camera. I said it over and over, but this is definitely one of the most versatile action cams I've seen in a while. And if you want to learn more, you know where to go.